We need a Garden Warfare 3. Now, again, last week we made a video that I don't normally make on this channel. We normally stick to Star Wars and films, but I'm going to start reviewing games, I think, as well. And if this video in particular gets 10 likes, I will make a series on Garden Warfare 2 multiplayer and do whatever, because I love this game. So, why do we need a Garden Warfare 3? Well, Garden Warfare 2 released sometime around 2016, and for me personally, it was a game that just created my childhood and shaped it along with the first game in the series. The first game in the series was great, it had great maps, it had great characters, but the second game really took what the first game was special and just made it 10 times better. Now, I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to tell you that these two games are the greatest games ever made, because quite simply they aren't. Oh, I'm in a lobby on my own. We need to rally together and bring this game back. These two games were incredible. Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare 1, like I told you, it had some of the best map choices there was, and it had some of the best character choices. Garden Warfare 2 then took Garden Warfare 1's creation and just made it better, and I didn't see how that was possible at the time. But they added 3 new characters to each class. They added this, not lore, but they added an open world map where you could go and do the Trials of Nomus, and you could unlock the Hover Goat and the Torchwood, who were also 2 great additions to the roster. But Garden Warfare 2 just felt better. I feel like the characters they added were better. The Corn on the plants, the Imp on the zombies, the Pirate on the zombies, the Super Brains, the Citron. Honestly, all of them were so fun. It was such a fun game. Now the maps in GW2 compared to GW1. I'd like to touch on this because I think the GW1s are better. I'm just going to say it. I think Garden Warfare 1 maps, just generally speaking, are better. I've never really been a fan of Garden Warfare 2's map pool. If I'm being honest, I haven't for a long time. Like, I played Garden Warfare 1 just for a bit to see, whether the game still had support, whether the lobbies were still active and up, and they were. I got into some fun games on maps like Main Street, Walnut Hills, and Driftwood Shores, and honestly, they're 3 great maps. And obviously, Cactus Canyon as well. Not to forget that map. That map is also an S tier map. Garden Warfare 2 has good maps, but this map roster would be made so much better if the Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare 1 maps were in Garden Warfare 2, which is where Garden Warfare 3 comes in. I feel like this game, still, by its age, has more than enough support and more than enough of a player base to warrant a Garden Warfare 3 this far down the line. Still getting the support it gets today is insane as the game's age. It's not aging down by any means necessary. The game is still old, and day by day it will continue to grow older. But this game has a player base, and I think that is a player base that has to be addressed, and recently it has been addressed apparently. We're supposed to be getting updates to this game at some point, supposedly, and I cannot wait for that. If that does happen, I really do think that in terms of Garden Warfare 2's updates, they were incredible. The Town Hall is a community update thing for weekly updates and weekly challenges. My favourites being the boss hunts, week to week. I loved the boss hunts like Sasquatch and the Yeti King. I think we could do those back, personally. I really do. I genuinely think that those were great additions. And you could get rainbow stars from them as well, which meant you could get which means you could get the Hover Goat and the Torchwood, which were, again, like I told you before, 2 great additions to the roster, which wasn't exactly slim as it was, but were very warm welcomes to what was an already pretty stacked roster of good characters. Now, what the franchise does in general so well, which in my opinion made Battle for Neighborville so horrifically bad and such a mess of a game, is the lack of the elemental classes for each of the characters. Like, unlocking a different class of character of a different, like, damage or a different type, or each character did something different. Each character managed to do something unique to the last, and it made playing those characters, and it made getting those characters special. But in Battle for Neighborville, you just upgraded them, you got perks, and yeah, it was cool, and it was an alright system, but it really lacked how special packs were in the first 2 games. Now, I'm not going to sit here and trash on Battle for Neighborville. I personally don't think it's as bad as people say it is. I still think it's a half-decent video game, and I think a lot of people forget that these games, just in general, aren't meant to be taken seriously. These aren't games that are going to come onto the scene and be made to compete with COD or to compete with like Fortnite or anything in the shooter genre with a high IP like value. I don't think people realize that these games will not come here to like meddle with them. That's not what they're here for. They're just here for the purpose of entertainment and fun, which is why I like the game so much myself. They're just, I can sit on this game and just shut off a bit. I'm recording this video right now, just playing a game as Toxic Chomper. I'm not taking it seriously, I'm just having a bit of fun. And I'm also getting a bit destroyed, but I'm having fun. And that's something I think in gaming at the moment that is a bit of a lack. I think Fortnite, current season, good. I really like it. I'm not going to sit here and talk about Fortnite, that's not what this is for. But I think there's a lot of games on the market at the moment that are big, that just lack that element of fun. If Garden Warfare 3 came onto the scene right now, it would blow the market out of the water. Now, I'm not saying that in terms of, yes, it would win Game of the Year, and it would be the best multiplayer game ever released. No. I mean, people would flock to this game for fun, I believe. If you didn't add a competitive player base, as a lot of games seem to be doing at the moment, and you just left the game as a casual place, it would be a perfect place for people to just have fun on the game. It'd be absolutely perfect. Like I just said, I think the market lacks a game where people can just come and sit and chill. Battle for Neighborville really flopped, and I feel like EA owe it to the player base to just say, we messed this up. We really messed this up for you guys. We need to make it up to you. Here's Garden Warfare 3. And what Garden Warfare 3 should be is, it should just be everything Garden Warfare 2 and 1 is. It should have a town hall. It should have a couple of the new additions to the game, just in general as a roster. But it should just be all of the maps from both the first and second game. It should include maybe some BFN maps, but it should include the Snapdragon, it should include the Nightcap, it should do all of that, but maybe introduce 3 new characters on each side again, have a fully stacked roster, and it would just be, it would be a spectacle of a game for fans of the first 2 and the BFN. And EA would just make so much money off of it. But that is why I think we need it. I don't think we're gonna get it. I think by now it's just been so long, and it's taken far too long to like get any news on Garden Warfare 1 in general, that I just don't think it's a possibility for this game to surface ever, if I'm being honest. Do I want the game to surface? Absolutely, I do. But I love these 2 games. These two games hold next to Fortnite as games that like stapled my childhood and like shape how I look at games for the future. But for me personally, I don't see Garden Warfare 3 as very likely. From what we've been told, it isn't coming. But this game to come out would change the current market of gaming. It just would. And not in the way of winning Game of the Year, like I've said multiple times. It would just be a fun game to play that I think people don't have. People don't have a Garden Warfare. People don't have a Garden Warfare. They don't have that game. They don't have a game where they can just hop on and just switch their brain off and just chill. Every game at the moment has sweaty lobbies. Every game at the moment just has people that take the game too seriously. Just doesn't have that. This game still doesn't have that. And if we're not going to get a Garden Warfare 3, I would love to bring the Garden Warfare 2 community back onto the surface and just, generally speaking, get this game back. Get this game service back at least. Now, obviously, that costs resources for EA and it, costs them money. But if this game got its service back, it would be so fun. This would be so good. Such a good point of view, such a good perspective. But let me know what you guys think of that in the comments. If you guys think we should get a Garden Warfare 3, I think we should. I think EA have realised, and they've bitten the bullet as well, just in general, that the games have a player base still that they need to cater to, because they would not have spoken to the player base on the forums otherwise and addressed them. So that's just what I think. I think we're more likely to get updates to this game than anything else, if I'm being honest, or they're gonna like reboot BFN. I'm not sure, but I feel like Garden Warfare 3 is a possibility that I wouldn't get your hopes up for. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't happen. Not to be negative, but if it does happen, I'll be there. I'll be on it. So, if you agree, like and subscribe to the channel will really help me out. I'm trying to hit a K by the end of the summer, but time's getting on. We're not near that number, so... But, I hope you guys have a great day, and remember to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.